The Morning Express on mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning.
You are listening to the Morning Express on mainland 98.3 FM.
Good morning.
Eid Mubarak to every Muslim faithful listening and all over Nigeria, all over the states, all over Nigeria, all over the continent and the world. Right, today marking the end of the holy month of Ramadan. Right, it's been a very challenging and interesting one from the beginning of Ramadan and to the end of it. Right, a pointer to the fact that whatever we see the beginning of it, just wait ahead to see the end of it, right? And as much as we are observing this holy month of Ramadan, or we have observed the holy month of Ramadan, it's a reminder to uphold unity, to uphold peace, compassion, sympathy for each other, right? The essence of being a brother's keeper, and extending the essence of the fasting throughout and beyond the holy month of Ramadan, right? Beyond that, extending that to every month and every year, and even across board, the president, governors, different organizations, associations, civil society, also preaching unity and sympathy, preaching being a brother's keeper, and all of that. We've even gotten felicitation. Even the police also had, emphasized surveillance strength right across the country as regard the celebration of Eid this morning. So happy celebration to every Muslim faithful, especially lovers of mainland 98.3 FM. Studio Morning Express right here on mainland, the Super Dial 98.3 FM, and you're welcome on board this morning. This is where we make sure that we keep you abreast, we keep you updated on several happenings, trends, and what's going on in our dailies with apt analysis. We also better understand these issues with the help of our in-house analysts. To be joined by Matthew Okoduwa this morning. Every Friday morning he joins us to give analysis to all of these stories, and as well you can join us on Facebook and YouTube at mainland 98.3 FM. That's the handle, at mainland 98.3 FM, to enjoy an audiovisual experience. You can also listen via Radio Garden. Either you download the Radio Garden or you go online to search. Right, and you can also listen via our website www.milanfm.com. So we've created quite a number of platforms for you to join the conversation regardless of where you are. Matthew, good morning.
Good morning, Lady Mo. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Good morning. Eid Mubarak to you.
The same thing to you, Lady Mo.
All right, as we joined our Muslim faithful to celebrate the
as we join Fuad Said.
Yeah, Fuad Said. definitely right. A moment, across board we've been getting felicitations, celebrating the end of the holy month of Ramadan, also emphasizing on peace, emphasizing on unity, being a brother's keeper, sympathy, compassionate, amongst others, right? The more concern is that we can extend it beyond the holy month of Ramadan, extend this qualities, right, beyond the holy month, and we can uphold that even throughout our lifetime. You're welcome on board, Matthew.
Thank you for having me this morning.
All right, let's kickstart because of our time. Let's start from the return of the president. The president and the first lady had now touched down in Nigeria today after their 2-day visit to the United Kingdom, right? And we've seen video footage shared on X by the special advisor to the president on media and public communication that Sunday Diary, capturing the moment the presidential aircraft touched down with senior government officials, also including the the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and on hand to receive the presidential couple. I mean, it was a show of honor during the visit in the UK, right? The way the King Charles III and his wife also had received the president, I mean Nigeria at Hill, because it was a representation of Nigerians right in the UK. But let's quickly streamline it to the talks, I mean the essence of the meeting. He also met with the Prime Minister Keir Starmer, right, and part of the MOU that was signed with the UK, right, yesterday they signed 3 major memoranda of understanding, MOUs, which is covering migration partnership, organized immigration crime, border security, and expanded business visas for UK firms operating in Nigeria. So for the first time, the Nigerian government recognized the UK letters. That's an identification document that was issued, or that will be issued to individuals without a valid passport. So people will no longer have to wait for emergency travel documents to be issued before they can be returned. And the deal with Nigeria also, is making it easier to remove people with no right to be in the UK and also return people who overstayed their visas, foreign criminals and also failed asylum seekers. And the MOU was definitely signed by the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, the UK Home Secretary, and then the UK Trade Envoy Florence. The two countries also agreed to launch joint operations and also share information to crack down on criminal gangs, abusing visa routes. A new standardized document checking system will also be introduced to verify the authenticity of applications. And also the Home Office said it followed a series of high-profile cases involving fake job sponsorships, sham marriages, and also forged financial or employment records. Matthew, a summary of it all: we had the MOU signed to cover migration partnership, organized immigration crime, also border security, and expanded business visas for UK firms operating in Nigeria. What's your reaction?
Well, thank you. Looking at the whole visit on its own, it would have been a very good visit, but because of the events at home, the bombing in Maiduguri, so it became tainted with blood, because of the timing, which is very wrong, which is very bad, very unfortunate. And when you talk of the immigration cooperation, the question I want to ask is, those people that are being returned to, or that will be returned to Nigeria, are they all Nigerians? The criminals, those who have overstayed their welcome in UK, those who have been convicted for various crimes, are they all Nigerians? Because if they are not all Nigerians, that deal alone is a minus on the whole thing the president did. Except they are Nigerians, except they are all Nigerians, then fine. But if they are not, because they did the same thing with Rwanda last year or so, or 2 years ago, by the former prime minister, that's Roger Sunak also, and this prime minister came and cancelled it. So are they all Nigerians, the criminals all over the world? Because first thing is, for those who have overstayed their welcome in UK, they do have their passports, they have their original traveling documents. Were they born in UK, that they don't have documents that the English the UK will not give them paper and Nigeria will recognize it? The implications of those things, that's the same thing Trump wanted to do to the deal with some what do you call this one now, with Caribbean countries, Caribbean and North America countries. They just pack people who they cannot identify their location, their state of their country of origin, and you have packed them there. So in other words, you are packing criminals to Nigeria. What are you doing? How are you going to control them? They are criminals. They are criminals. But if they are all Nigerians, I tell you, there's no problem. We take our own. So everybody who they accuse of illegal entry, overstay, or crime, or whatever, should have a country of origin. I don't understand how you
I don't think. Well, just thinking out loud. I mean,
Yes.
that kind of agreements with criminals being deported. I don't think that would involve foreigners. I mean, people that are not Nigerians having a partnership with that kind of agreement. I don't think it would involve
if
other
there are
citizens of.
people that are not, if they are all Nigerians, there's no need for any special agreement. Look, your son, your child, your daughter has misbehaved. Come and take him or take her home. That doesn't need special agreement. So the suspicion is it may involve people who are not Nigerians, who don't know where they are going, where they are coming from. I mean, we have seen people who are deported every now and then. Nigerians who are deported every now and then from US, from UK, from France, from Germany. You don't need special agreement to deport a Nigerian back to Nigeria. You don't need it. So that is the suspicion. So the Minister of Interior should come clear about that, so that we know whether we are going to clap for them or not to clap for them on this particular one. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Of course, we have that across dailies this morning. The president is back. I mean, that actually raised a lot of dust when he traveled to the UK, especially how he left the country and then going ahead to the UK for a visit. I mean, 2-day visit to see the King Charles III and his wife, and of course the Prime Minister of UK, Keir Starmer. But all in all, we've gotten the outcome of the meeting, and let's see how the collaboration will work, to better the livelihood, because that's what an average Nigerian is expecting. I mean, whatever agreements and whatever collaboration we're having with other countries is.
Yeah, because the issue of these illegal immigrants, why people are suspicious of it, it is what they did with Rwanda. Now, they promised Rwanda some money. That's what Rishi Sunak gave Rwanda some money, and they start packing people to Rwanda. At the end of the day, this person came and stopped it. If on the basis of the money they give you, you sign that dirty deal. I call it dirty deal because a deal that returns criminals who are not your citizens to you is dirty. So the minister in charge, in Interior, should come clean quickly for us to know whether that agreement covers only Nigerians and whether Nigeria was giving money before that agreement was signed. You understand? Because we don't need deportation of criminals into our country. We have enough. We have enough crime all over Nigeria. Boko Haram, ISWAP, Lakurawa, and Mahmuda, whatever they call them. There are so many. We don't need more. We don't need more criminals here. So, but if they are Nigerians, good. But if they are not, the National Assembly will have to look into that agreement.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know why I strongly believe we can't be getting criminals or citizens of another country anyway. We're still perusing the pages of our papers this morning. Let's quickly talk about a very concerning issue, especially when it comes to the matter of security, right, and the ravaging insecurity in the country. There is this report that is very, very concerning. Quickly taking a trip to Kaduna State. Now, residents of several communities in Kachia local government area, to be precise, of Kaduna State, have alleged that a growing number of villages are beginning to negotiate with bandits as a matter of survival. Now, according to some of the residents who spoke, right, they said that the development is complicating security operations and also deepening divisions among the locals, and findings is indicating that while some communities have entered informal agreements with armed groups to avoid attacks, others of course refused such arrangements, leading to their displacement and also heightened insecurity across the affected areas. Now, many of the locals claim that villages that reached understanding with the bandits are now serving as safe corridors or shields for the bandits whenever security operatives launched offensive. Matthew, is this not I mean, this is a very huge thing when you get number of some communities negotiating with bandits, and then they would be like a shield, be like a protect.
Lady Mo, this is not news now. It's not news. Go to Katsina. They are all there. people, communities are signing deals with bandits, which is a very, big indictment on the part of government. When I say government, local government, state government, and federal government. If you take a census of the number of communities, local governments across the north, especially, that are now under the governance of the bandits, you wonder, what are we doing as a country about the security of life and property in Nigeria? I don't know if you remember what the devil told God when he was tempting Job. Job told God, "Look, give me one more time to tempt Job." I mean, devil told God, ask permission, that a man will always do everything, for the sake of his life. Do you understand that? A man will always do everything for the sake of his life. These people that are saying no, you see the repercussion.
Reprisals.
You understand? Those who said yes, you see the benefits in quote, if that is actually benefits. So those who said no, when will the government come to rescue them? Maybe not in this generation, not under this regime. They will never be saved. So what are we talking about? So we have lost it. Security wise, we have lost it as a nation. These people are emboldened by the day. Look at some other reports that in the last good effort by the military, some Chinese were arrested with Boko Haram, helping them to operate drones. So these bandits are no more local bandits, or these terrorists are no more local terrorists. The people we gave license to for mining, let's be bold enough to drive them away. We will see a measure of reduction in insecurity in Nigeria. Because these Chinese people, wherever they are, whatever they are mining, they arm groups to protect them, because they are taking things that don't belong to them, or even if it belongs to them, they are taking more than they are given. So we are no more fighting local people. We are fighting, international criminals. So government should brace up to it and let us know where we are. But because of political sentiment and all those things, we can no longer fight well, because even look at statements that are coming out from government officials that, they are our brothers. We need to let them know. America bombing us. After you are a person that is high in society, you are saying America is bombing us. That means making way out of the bandit, bombing us. With those kind of statements, we look at the journey to recover Nigeria from the bandits is far. It's very far. Now they are signing agreement to protect us, and that protection means that the locals will also protect them from the Nigerian military. Protect me, don't harass me, okay? Then let me protect you, but when they are looking for me, don't say I'm here, hide me. That is the deal. I mean, where will that stop? And these people are still forgetting that when everybody is looking for second time, looking for third time, looking for 20 times. When the first time they have been, they have not used it, properly for us. I mean,
it's quite concerning, because according to these residents that have not agreed to negotiate with the bandits, they're saying that it even makes it difficult for security forces, to fish out these bandits, because
they're not hiding among them,
are mixed with them. Speaking about the security forces handling, tackling this issue, maybe. Let's look into the statements of the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammadu Sa'ad Abubakar, calling on the Nigerian military to adopt a more proactive strategy against the terrorist groups in the wake of the deadly bombings, especially in that one that happened in Maiduguri, Borno State. He was making the appeal yesterday evening, right, and saying that after the explosion, the explosion that happened in Maiduguri, that combating or condemning the attack, he urged security forces to take the fight directly to the terrorist strongholds, and rather than waiting for attacks to occur, that they should take the war to the terrorists where they are, that they should not wait for them, to strike before defending or finding remedies, that this they must do as a nation of a great people, right? And so we can have peace in the country. Do you see this as a more proactive effort?
Yeah, there are two ways to it. The Sultan is speaking from his experience as a general in the army. And the maxim we grew up with is attack is the best form of defense. That is one. So theoretically, you attack first. But practically, we have seen it in several battle engagements across the globe. That some people, some army take time to dig in. And that period of digging in, you may not know what they are doing. So they are the only people know. So it's very possible that the Nigerian army, they are digging in afresh. Of course, you know that our new approach came up after this U.S. involvement. So they may be digging in, like what they had in Iraq, call it Operation Desert Shield. When they were doing that Desert Shield, nobody knew what they were doing. So it was when they finally, encircled the place that they opened up on Operation Desert Storm. So if that is what is going on, fine. But whichever way it is, the Sultan is correct. To say, why are you just sitting there like a lame dog? You wait for them to come and attack you before you're attacking them. Because if they are the first to take the initiative, they would have prepared so much to attack you. They won't allow you to even move, so even you're going to organize yourself to return fire. So the best is to look for them wherever they are. That is, move out of the barracks, move out of the base, and go and look for them. That is a very good approach to it. But as I said, the military, they know what they are doing. If they're actually sitting and receiving fire, they should know what they are doing. So, and the Sultan himself as a soldier also know what he's saying. So let the military come. Whatever they are saying now is it's not how do I put it now? What we are expecting is result, not theory. Result. So whether they are sitting in one place and they are winning, fine. Whether they move out, they are winning, fine. But the question is, if you move out, if you don't allow them to lock you down, you will win. That is the Sultan's intention, which I share too.
Well, still talking about security issues in the country, opposition, of course, are not quiet about it. Very vocal, especially the ADC, lambasting the president, especially his administration, over its poor handling of terrorism in the country. According to the spokesperson for the ADC, that's Bolaji Abdullahi, hinging his submission on the recent security data to question the administration's handling of terrorism, right? Even as the president, undertakes official engagement in the UK. He cited the findings from the Global Terrorism Index, which they argue that Nigeria has witnessed a rise in terrorist activity in recent years. According to the report, the attacks increased by 43% from 120 incidents in 2024 to 171 in 2025, right? Also indicating that's the report that Borno State account for a significant share of the violence, with 67% of attacks and 72% of related deaths recorded in the state. And some critics also have contrasted the government response with that of other countries, referencing how Donald Trump personally received the bodies of fallen American soldiers during the recent conflicts involving Iran. They argue that recent attacks in Nigeria, including killings in Borno, deserved a similarly visible show of leadership and empathy.
Yeah, you see, I don't know why we should lock in ourselves within the global insecurity index. So if there's a rise in insecurity in the world, so Nigeria should just say, it is the same thing, so we sit down. Is that what we are saying? We shouldn't just sit down because it's happening. We should see countries who are fighting insecurity, not to a standstill, to a victory. Let us compare ourselves to those ones. Not to say, because it's a global thing, so we should just stand and relax. That is what our people are saying. Because it's global. What is global in insecurity? They
went ahead to give a 3-point strategy, which is aimed at overhauling Nigeria's security architecture. They said, or they proposed, improved coordination among intelligence agencies, arguing that while intelligence may be available, the poor interagency collaboration leads to missed warnings and delayed responses. And so to address this, they are planning to establish a legally backed national intelligence coordination system, right? And secondly, they are advocating decentralized policing, that it maintains that Nigeria cannot be effectively secured solely from the federal, that's Abuja, and they are proposing a multi-layered policing structure, that's the federal, the state, and the community based, with clearly defined roles and national standards to improve response time and accountability. And thirdly, they emphasize the shift from a reactive to preventive security, that it proposes building an intelligence-driven system supported by data, early warning mechanisms, and rapid response units across all states, to stop attacks before they occur rather than responding after the fact.
You see, those theories, those are very fine and those are very fine written theories, according theories. But in practice, what happened? They have not added that the moles we have, based on some other primordial sentiments, ethnicity and religion, especially religion. We have moles in the armed forces, in the government ministries. That when you are designing a strategy as they are designing now, the moles will go out and tell the enemy that this is what we are designing, and they too will do a counter, approach. So another, in addition to the three dimensions, let's see that anybody who has demonstrated that he is likely to be a mole sympathizing with the enemies should also be dealt with, no matter the level. That is one approach. Look at it. See, Gumi, some 2-3 weeks ago, openly in the media said the government has the phone numbers, the locations, the addresses of the insurgents, of the kingpins, what they call the kachalas. Up to now, I'm talking with you, government has not said yes or no. And what is the maxim? That silenced is an accusance. That is, government has kept quiet until they agreed. Nobody has asked Gumi, please, thank you for your revelation. Come and tell us these people. I'm sure Gumi would be bold enough to tell you that ABC has the address of this. So, we have people within the house that shouldn't be brought close to where decisions about security are taken, because they will leak it. During the Civil War, I was very small. I think I was about 6 or 7. There's this word we always hear when we get, because our house, we're in a road junction, a very busy road junction. We see military police beating people. They do ideas. They call them saboteurs. At 6, we are just in primary. In fact, we are just learning how to enter primary school. They said, saboteurs. What is saboteur? What do you mean by saboteurs? Do you understand this? The military know what saboteur. So people are there are so many people sabotaging the efforts of the government. So it's not a question of these theories. Anybody who's propounding theories now might even be one of the saboteurs. So what do we do? So the government should be very, very, proactive. I'm not saying it should not be reactive. There are some instances you may react because you cannot cover everywhere at the same time. But majorly, let's design a proactive approach to combating these people. And one of them, as I'm saying, is let's comb the house and see the house rats that is feeding the bush rats of the information from the house.
I think that's one of the major issues we're facing, especially for our security personnel, tackling the issue of insecurity. Still trending the papers on Mela 98.3 FM, The Sound of Lagos. Join us on Facebook and YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. My name is Tʀᴇɪ Akínyẹ̀sọ̀yẹ. I have Matthew Okodo on the other side, giving better understanding to these issues. Quickly, a breakdown of course, the political play and political tussle towards the 2027 general election has begun, right? With several speculations, of course, we've been seeing cross-carpeting, defections here and there from position to the ruling, from ruling to whichever, and the build up to the general election is rapidly giving way to an expansive and even high stakes succession season in at least 10 states. We are getting governors in their final terms preparing to exit, and a new generation of political actors moves to take their place, like Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, Bauchi, Yobe, amongst others, are in their final lap of their constitutionally permitted 2-term, that's 4-year tenures, and the battle for their successors had now begun across the state. And of course, in the INEC had fixed January 16, 2027 for the presidential and national assembly elections. Expectedly, some governors whose tenures will end on May 29, 2027 are likely to seek senatorial tickets. And according to the timetable released by the commission, their successors will be determined 2 weeks later on February 6, 2027. And the strength of political parties alongside the influence of the incumbents, likely, according to some quarters and analysts, shape the outcome of the succession contest. You get the breakdown actually of that political analysis in the Punch newspaper, but not really much to talk about. Let's talk about the statement credited to Malami. Right, the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami had said that he has no regrets over his actions while he was in office, following his release from the prison custody. He's facing a 16-count charge of alleged money laundering alongside his wife Bashir and son Abdulaziz, maintaining that he intends to vigorously defend himself against the allegations, and they all pleaded not guilty to the charges that was filed by the EFCC, and he was also rearrested on January 19 by the DSS, operations of the DSS, shortly after his initial release from the prison. And even in January 21, he accused the DSS of denying him access to his family and legal team. In February 27, a federal high court in Abuja also granted bail to him and his son in sum of 200 million naira each over alleged terrorism-related offenses, and he has since fulfilled the bail conditions and regained his freedom. But in an interview, on Wednesday, he said that despite what he went through, that he sees the experience as God's will and pledged to vigorously defend himself against the allegations. Also, alleging violations of his rights during the investigation, claiming that security agencies, searched his homes and business premises without notifying him that he violated his rights by searching his house and business premises without notifying him during the investigation, and that despite the ordeal, he said he remains resolute and he has no regret regarding what he did during his time as a minister.
You see, I think there's a police magazine that says a thief we always say no. A thief will always, when he denies. When you catch a thief red-handed or whatever handed, we say it's not me, I didn't do it, I was just passing. But that one now in Malami's case is coupled with what they call effrontery, shameless boldness. Let him just keep quiet and prove his innocence in court. Thank God Nigeria is civil enough now to take you to court. Go and prove yourself. If there is not going to be what we call a lack of diligent prosecution at the end of the day. Because these politicians, they know how to, any people who are politically exposed, they know how to do their way. This one he's saying, so he's not saying it because maybe he's not guilty. He's saying it because he's a member of APC, where your sins will be forgiven. Only sins you commit will be forgiven. He's a member of the APC. Then two, he knows his way around. He has references. Look at the policeman's case. What's his name? Abba Kyari's case. Has been there, not going right, not going left. By the time they prolong it, after a very long time, the judge will tell you, for lack of diligent prosecution. Those are the things he's going to do around. Otherwise, he should just keep quiet, prove his innocence in court, and before making all these statements. If you were accused and they search your house, that's a different thing. What they they breach your rights. There's no right there. You are accused.
Well,
They talk about the politicians, succession wahala at the moment. That's because they don't take Nigerians, the voters, into reckoning at all. If I were those who are going out now, what I will be doing is to start putting my handing over together, my accounts. 8 years. Where was my state when I came in? Where is it now? But they are busy looking for people who will succeed them, who will cover their tracks. That is where there are going to be tensions and confusions. When you see, I've worked in a place where I had to hand over. A month or two before the date of handing over, my record was there, because I didn't care who was going to take over from me. I didn't bother, because my record will speak for me. These people, they have bad record, and they are looking for somebody who they will compromise now, who will cover their backs. That is why the tension is there. Not that they want to serve Nigeria, and it is the person who agrees to cover their traps that they will support. In other words, they are looking to extend their tenure by proxy.
Well,
and that means it's very bad for our democracy. When you are through with your 8 years, pack your load and go, and let another person with a different vision come and steer the ship of state.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Though some school of thought would emphasize, or we sit on the fact that more of the assignment is in the electorate's hands, right? That politicians or people in the political space will always play politics, but the more of the assignment is the people that will choose who to rule them or who to govern them. That's that on that side. Just on the final note, an economist is warning that lack of political will and corruption is undermining Nigeria's economic reforms. And also that according to the dailies, the NYC DG is also saying that the core members are covered by insurance, right? He's reaffirming that core members are covered by comprehensive insurance package throughout their service here. That's an information from in our dailies. Thank you very much. We have to step aside and come back for Mainland Focus.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for your time. Good morning. We'll be back shortly.